Opel Admiral B, 1969–77. The Admiral B was introduced just in time for the Geneva Motor Show in March 1969 together with the new Capitaine and Diplomat. While the Capitaine was discontinued after May 1970, the Admiral and Diplomat survived until 1977. They were replaced by the smaller Opel Senator in 1978. The new model shared its 2,845 mm, 112.0 in, wheelbase with the previous Admiral, but the Admiral B's overall length of 4,907 mm, 193.2 in, was 31 mm, 1.2 in, shorter than that of the Admiral A. The stylish body came with American flair both on the outside and on the interior, but this, especially in respect of the dashboard that confronted the driver, was at the cost of functionality. The design, which could be presented in 1969 as flamboyant and futuristic, was not in keeping with the more restrained mood that took hold in Germany in the mid-1970s as fuel costs rose following the 1973 oil price shocks. The Admiral B was fitted with a Didion rear axle, which greatly improved road holding, but made the cars costly to manufacture when compared with the simpler suspension arrangements on the previous model. It also greatly reduced the space available in the boot, trunk, which was something customers might notice even before asking for a test drive. The manual 4-speed transmission was carried over from the previous model, but customers opting for automatic transmission no longer had to contend with the General Motors 2-speed power glide system, which had originally been conceived for cars with much larger and less stressed US-style engines. The Admiral B was offered with a 3-speed Strasbourg automatic transmission. From January 1972, the manual option was no longer available with the Admiral E, leaving the automatic as the only choice for customers specifying fuel injection. Like its predecessor, the Admiral B came with a 2,784cc 6-cylinder C engine offering maximum output of 132 PS, 97 kilowatts, 130 horsepower, or, where twin downdraft carburetors were specified, 145 PS, 107 kilowatts, 143 horsepower. The 2,784cc 6-cylinder unit could also be ordered with Bosch D-Jetronic fuel injection, which increased the maximum output further, to 165 PS, 121 kilowatts, 163 horsepower. This was the first time fuel injection had been offered as an option in an Opel and reflected a more general trend among the German automakers towards fitting fuel-injected engines, but the fuel-injected Admiral was expensive when compared to the simpler twin-carburetor-engined car. Admiral buyers were no longer offered the option of an upgrade to the Chevrolet-powered version. A 5,354cc V8 was fitted in the Diplomat version of the car. During the 1970s, Germany followed general trend of discouraging the addition lead to road fuel, which was followed by a reduction in the octane levels of the normal and super-grade fuels widely available at filling stations. Opel reacted by reducing the compression ratios on all three versions of the Admiral's 2,784cc 6-cylinder engine, which led to reductions in listed maximum outputs of between 3 PS, 2 kilowatts, 3 horsepower, and 5 PS, 4 kilowatts, 5 horsepower. Although the Admiral B was introduced as part of a 3-car range of similarly bodied cars that also included the less expensive Capitaine and the top-of-the-range Diplomat, the range was reconfigured after the withdrawal in May 1970 of the Capitaine. Instead, 2 less well-equipped versions of the Admiral were added to the range. 1972 saw a small facelift which went largely unnoticed, whereby the model name was removed from the front grille and the Opel Lightning Flash logo was enlarged and placed in the center of the grille, having between 1969 and 1972 been more discreetly sited on the car's nose centrally above the grille. As the cars struggled increasingly to find buyers, the range of available trim and equipment levels was reduced in March 1976. At the end of 1976, Opel stopped producing the Admiral, replacing it with a reduced specification version of the hitherto more luxurious Diplomat, although the records showed that even in the model's last year, 1977, 253 Opel Admirals were produced. This may simply reflect the slow rate of inventory turns by this stage. During 1969, which was the Admiral B's first year of production, 9,399 Admiral badged cars were produced, which was more than 50% of the combined Captain/Admiral/Diplomat (COD) range. This was well down on the 19,904 cars produced in 1964, which had been the first year for the Admiral A. The Admiral appears to have been outclassed and outsold by premium models from premium manufacturers. BMW, with their 2500/2800/3.0 model, had returned to the six-cylinder sedan market only in 1968, and by 1977 had clocked up an output of 222,000. One of these six-cylinder engined cars also on a roll were Mercedes-Benz, whose prestigious six-cylinder engined S-Class 280S/280C/280 models managed 280,473 six-cylinder engined cars produced between 1972 and 1980. Between 1970 and 1973, Admiral production settled down to roughly 5,000 cars per year. The oil price shock of 1973 knocked sales dramatically, and in 1974 Opel produced only 1,168 Admirals out of a total of 1,754 COD models. Despite some recovery in 1975, the model sold in much lower numbers thereafter, while the manufacturer prioritized new investment on less expensive types such as the Ascona. Opel produced 36,522 Admiral B models between 1969 and 1977, together with 4,976 Captain BS, all between 1969 and 1970, and 21,021 Diplomat BS.